I didn't want changing. Egyptian mother, Egyptian dream. All right. This is the first installment of. I'll sit down. I can sit down. So I'm doing this out here. I don't have much clothes on. It's very warm. It's southern California. To the brother, my online viewers. This is my doing it as if I were having live viewers. Pretending. Pretend. It's a form of pretend. People can pretend. All right. But this is a serious story about Gary DeForve's experiences in the world of work, in the working world, in the world of capitalism where we earn our money by getting a job from a company and they pay us to do that work. And supposedly, we'll talk about what's happening there because I think it's very, very important. Like, are they really paying us to do that job or what are they really paying us for? This goes down to okay, I'm not going to do a shout out to David Graeber's bullshit jobs, but I was just watching that, so that was freaking bomb. And that's where I'm headed with all this stuff is because I listen to people like that. You know, brilliant Richard, what's his name? Richard Wolff and, you know, whoever. That's what got me listening to whoever, you know, all these people. Timothy Snyder, shout out. This fool is like, yeah, he's the one who's really saying what I'm saying about the relationship of the Russian propaganda to the traditional right-wing propaganda and how it's like intertwined. It's almost like, it makes me wonder, like I've had the thought, and this sounds kooky crazy, but was really the Cold War even real? I mean, and this is like what they want you to think with this style of propaganda. So anyways, back to the subject at hand. This is a video about Gary DeForve's experiences, and that was basically just how it sucked. Maybe that's all there is to tell of like why it was sucky, living in an undemocratic institution inside a state, you know. And of course, they've done everything they can to like weaken the idea that the state could help regulate for the worker too. They really want to eliminate that whole. That's the whole point of. I just made the point online too that, you know, because I just learned it, that Timothy Snyder, and it just really applied and just really hit me hard, was Timothy Snyder. His new book out, On the Road to Unfreedom. Brilliant guy, Yale professor. I mean, if people don't have no reason to respect a fool like me, but like he's saying the same kind of shit I'm saying about how the right wing propaganda, basically how it works, but the message, he really articulates it well, how there's a reason not to trust in how this is fascism. And literally how we're really kind of on the road. I mean, it's like an inflammatory word. You're not allowed to say fascism, Nazi, but that's literally where we're going to, because that's where we're coming from. And that's where Trump is coming from. This is not like a mistake plan, like on the road to fascism. That's exactly what, you know, we're exactly on schedule as far as the takeover. Like I quoted Steve Bannon wanted to basically I'm going to say declaw, but you can look up the Steve Bannon. He wanted to, you know, make the administrative state wanted to make it. He just wanted to tear that apart. And I just saw from Timothy Snyder, who's talking about this from 2015, talking about the Holocaust to the Chicago Humanities Conference or whatever on YouTube. You can find that. He was saying how the SS that carried out the Holocaust was not a state. It was not was not part of the German state. It wasn't subject to the German state. You know, that Hitler got in there and he first destroyed the state And then instead of replacing the state with like freedom, he replaced it with his own private organization, the SS, and they're the ones who carried out the Holocaust. So, how does this all relate to my experience in the workplace where it became like a banana republic? This is like when I first started at Brother Gyppy's, you know, it was kind of like uh, at the time I had a girlfriend, really my only serious girlfriend in my life. Her name was Janet Racchio, and she got me a job at her father's, Japanese restaurant, which I worked at for about a year and a half in Whittier there. Uh, and so before then, she had already gotten a job through this one guy named, I have to come up with like fake name for him too, so I'm not going to say it. Not fake. What am I talking about? This is a real story. It's 100% real. But anyways, let's call him Giggerario. I mean, it's not that important. Giggerario Lalarmions. That's not good, but I'll come up with something. How about Jeremy Lamas? Jeremy Lamas. 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 Jeremy Lamas. Perfect. All right. So this guy, Jeremy Lamas, he's a real cool guy. He's still actually, I think he's back working for this Brother Gyppy's, the same company. This greatest job in the world that several years in a row they would advertise to you. They would be talking about, oh, this is the greatest job in the world. You should be very happy to be working here and very grateful to whoever. I mean, I don't, that's one thing I didn't understand, because like, I think that's where my understanding, like maybe it just is related to some kind of like mental condition I have, which is maybe a disability. Certainly served as a disability in this circumstance. I just have a limited somehow social intelligence, even though I could seem to like be able to, you know, figure all these things out. But in this situation, and I was just always very, very, very shy. I just want to just avoid human contact. So maybe, yeah, just end of story. Maybe I basically do have the Asperger syndrome or something very whatever, probably similar to that. But obviously, I'm a normal person, basically. But maybe I'm mad autistic is why I'm like, and I do have this weird interest. Why am I doing this freaking, So it's like it basically all fits. Okay, let's just say like, yeah, and I've been diagnosed too. So basically, an Aspergerer. Maybe that's the story. I don't want to not tell the story, but I don't think of myself as someone. I think of myself as a normal person who just has a normal understanding of the way he's working and just couldn't understand, like, it was just very, very, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the fact that I don't have the social skills is why I was somehow targeted, and the fact that I don't have a child, or because I'm a man and you can't cause sexual harassment because they'll figure out, oh, this guy winked at me or something, and now I have a sexual harassment claim. Me too. So, I mean, there is that, not to devalue anybody's accusations, but whatever reason, it seemed like maybe just because I have a bad personality and, but then again, yeah. And then it was grating. It was very grating. And so, like, yeah, I did behave badly at times, certainly, when you're driven to a certain point, when it's just like years and years and you're just like told that you're doing a bad job when, like, oh, this person tells you you're doing a good job. This person tells you, but you're still like, whatever you do is never good enough. Like the one year, there was this one girl. They started the very last year. We'll just start at the end. I think that's a great start at like the end when I was like maybe, because this was a long time that I worked at Brother Gyppy's, and there was different what I call regimes, managers coming in and out, and they, I guess, obviously they had the point to somehow clean house or say like, oh, who's not doing the job, Obviously they have to figure out who's doing the job and who's not doing the job and what they're doing and how they're doing. So they come in and they're constantly changing it up and they're cleaning out people. And like, is that based on like exactly, what is that exactly based on? It's just like perception. So you can't really, I never really took it that personally. I just always thought that, like, this is totally ridiculous. I'm like doing quantifiably more work in some circumstances than these people. I'm doing a more, who knows how to say, more professional job. I'm not as fawning, and I don't have, like, especially at the end, she told literally like a gay person. Well, I don't know that he was, but I assumed he was very effeminate. And so I assumed whatever. He went to Biola College, and he said that the manager, I'm going to have a lot of fun. Let's call her Katrina Baloney. Yeah, that's a great name. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to even try to change it. The manager's name was Katrina Baloney, and she said, Katrina, Catricious. She said that he should try to be sugary sweet. She literally told this guy that, like, because you can get in things people love, like especially older ladies, they want to spend like all time fawning over a cute young gay. They have friends like that. They want to go out, that's just like, that's the only way they can be around a really, really some like more attractive man, whatever. I don't know. Say what my kooky theories are and why that phenomenon exists, but it exists. They want to talk to an effeminate young man and they like him. And he was a delightful person. He's very intelligent, whatever. He's a great guy. But Viola, oh, I told a real, oh, I got to change that. I'll change that to, yeah, okay. Can't say that. Must delete. Zip. Anyways, yeah, I was said at the end, I was told to be, oh, like it was clear, like what I was doing wrong. You're not being like, when I said it's just like you're being told by like what I would call, the phoniest people in the freaking world to be more genuine. Saying like, I'm being genuine. I'm trying to be honest with people because, and is that autism when you have like a sense that someone's bullshitting you and you're just like, excuse me, why are you like doing this? I'm just trying to be real with people and respect them in a normal, mostly I'm trying to like just because my basically I'm just trying to get away in that because it made me very uncomfortable. Now I do have some I'm on some Prozac now and I feel a lot better. I was always you know on and off the sauce for all those years, and it really has for time being. I feel a lot better, at least physically, because it just dampens the like I do feel sad, I feel depressed, I have think a lot of sad thoughts, even suicidal thoughts, but it just doesn't really affect me that hard to where it's just almost like compared to like how it was before, it's ridiculous because it's just like I really would feel. I think that's why I have like such empathy, is because I have like a really deep, like I can imagine really well being like in this people's position, and it makes me really upset that people treat people like that, because I think of like, oh, that's how they're treating me. That's maybe the basic cause of empathy or something that maybe we're feeling like some of us people, and maybe that's called autism in uh, this world. I don't feel. Anyways, people don't think. Obviously, you tell me if you think I seem like a weird autistic person, or obviously it doesn't matter. It's like, probably Stephen Hawking or a lot of people you think are like really smart, or actually that's like you think about like how Michael, what's his name, Michael deGrasse Tyson, how he gets all like irritated sometimes and like just acts natural. That's just like, yeah, I get irritated. Not that I'm as smart as him. I'm just like an unsuccessful, stupid version of all these other people, right? I'm big stupid Gary DeForve. So before I wanted to work at Brother Gyppy's, it was kind of a dream of mine to have like, it was a good job. You get medical. Uh, and I'd had a terrible job where you had to like be a service, and I didn't really get the tips. I maybe got like an hour, $1 an hour, like tacked on because it was all like split amongst everybody in the restaurant. So even if I like did really, there was no real incentive to do a better job, even though I did a far better job than really was, like that's another thing where like the sushi bar owner, for some reason, my, Janet Rackio's father, uh, what was his name again? Let's think of a great name for him. But anyways, Mr. Racchio, uh, at the sushi bar, there was this old lady named, and she was like sort of my girlfriend Jenna Racchio used to call her like a dragon lady. So she had like a certain type of eye makeup. She was like straight from the '60s in terms of like sort of the style of it. Just an over made up, and just like, they're from southern Japan. So they're kind of like the funky Japanese people who aren't quite down with like the Tokyo people. They're like, somehow like the yokels maybe from, you know, Japan. Like she was very poor as a child. She ate this stuff that was just like green tea and rice they would eat, and just a little bit of like salmon bones on there or something. And, so it was the same type of deal as at Trader Joe's where like the one lady uh, really appreciated my work and she knew I was doing a great job because I made her job like totally easy because she had tired feet. She was an old lady, basically by the time, and actually she didn't even really need to work. I mean, I was wondering like, there's another idea because her husband was like a vice president at a major corporation, uh, to where he lived in like, the rich area of our town here. Uh, so that's very interesting. I'm wondering what I was just thinking is what just dawned on me is like maybe there was a way because I just was wondering like when the first day I got there, I was thinking, how does this place make money? I mean, I'm just thinking dick, 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 dick. I'm just thinking tick. I'm saying not dick. I'm saying I'm rounding up like what are they making? What are they all making here? And what am I making here? And that doesn't seem to be they're really not making that much profit here. So what's going on here? Why is this a business? And this just started my main theory, or one of my theories, is like really when you talk about like even this is like all out there, just skip, skip, skip. I'm skipping around, but really, when you get to like the fact that the corporations really aren't doing it to make money, maybe this sushi bar wasn't making money, but to somehow launder money and somehow hide money, or just you move money around and you get a tax break, which is worth a lot of damn money, and you actually can come out ahead if you have a failed business rather than just pay the tax. You should at least try to put that money in a business or something, right? Because if you could somehow take that money, well, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of money laundering at this point because I'm not an expert on those, but suffice to say, I think the idea of like, laundering of money through a restaurant. So that's why I say first time I went there, I realized I just counted all the money they were making from the lunches they were selling and what they had to be paying people, minimum wage, etc., for them to work there. And they were not making a terrific profit. Maybe they eventually, at least more than broke even on some days. And I think basically in the old days, they did have a swimmingly. There was like a power battle between the older Japanese lady who had the which I gotta come up with a great name for. Let's call her Grochi. Grochi. Yeah, that's good for the time being. And the uh, Janet Racchio's older sister, uh, Jemima Racchio. She had she was like, very dynamic, business oriented type of person. And really my ex-girlfriend could be very personable, and they're all very Japanese in the way they like go, oh yeah, I mean, they were at least trained to be Japanese, in their family, because they were like there till, I guess the older sister till 9 and my girlfriend till 7. So, but anyways, they ran the business, or they were like involved in the business. And at some point, they were wanted to change the business. And the brother worked there too, the failed brother, Hiroshima Rakio. He also, kind of like a failure-ish brother, Hiroshima Rakio. He'll be a great character to describe in the book too. And he became, he was just the one who stayed on there, and the other two like went on to do other things in life and didn't become involved in the restaurant anyway. And in a way, it was almost like a sense of responsibility to her father to try to find good help. That's what introduced me, and like at least the you know Grocia did appreciate me. And actually there was a time when I got fired at the restaurant, and I was hired back by like I just went back to the restaurant and I was like, I'm just like, I told you, get started. Oh, you should get started. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and so I just came back, even though I'd have had another, run in with the owner, with Janet's father. Anyway, so I really, really needed a job, and I was like, never had a job like all like through for like very many years, just no employment. I just gave up on getting an employment because I would go in places and I was overweight. I was like 300 pounds and people would literally just laugh at me and just make fun of me when I went to apply for a job at a supermarket. So I just got the idea, and at times I'd worked at Domino's Pizza, and what else? What other lame ass jobs did I have? Oh, and also, oh God, horrible job where I drove for the insurance industry all around the Southland. And this is 21 minutes, so I'm just going to stop this one here and call this the first installment, even though it's like really not even. I can see how much if I just like put all this shit down and just like rearrange it. It's just like whatever. I'm just going to end the stream here for now. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to play it out. I'm going to play it out. Egyptian brother, Egyptian mother, Egyptian brother,